500 miles of wilderness, switchbacks, mountain pass, and for those brave enough to weather them, afternoon thunderstorms. The hiker planning to traverse the entire length of the trail from Denver to Durango can expect to climb and lose almost 90,000 feet of elevation, or what's equivalent to 3 round trips on Mount Everest. I set out to do the trip alone, but as the trail often proves, it had different plans. 8 mountain ranges and 12 different national forests and wilderness areas could really bring people together. But before I hop on the trail, there's a serious amount of preparation I need to do, seeing that I only gave myself 10 days between the time I decided to hike the trail and the time I plan to start. This is the Colorado Trail. Okay, so here's what we're trying to figure out. So today's the 11th of July. I need to be out of the woods by probably the 15th of August. We're trying to walk the Colorado Trail here. That's what this is all about. I need about 4 weeks to walk the Colorado Trail, and I have been having a difficult time trying to figure out how I'm going to get to the trailhead. I thought I was probably just going to make a hitch for 3 hours, but I think as of this morning, I have some friends whose parents are going to let me park in their driveway, and they live relatively close to the Colorado Trail, so just freaking huge win, baby. I don't have to hitchhike. Pulling out or getting ready all the boxes, and I'm going to be shipping ahead. I just went out to the post office, snagged 7 of these up. I have all the cities that I'm going to send them to. These are my dinners put out before right now. I'm going to add in some breakfast, a little bit of lunch. Okay, so I got 3 packages done. I'm going to run these down to the post office here locally, and the other 4, I'm dropping 7 in total. The other 4, I need to get a little bit more food for them, and then I'm going to mail them probably this afternoon. Now, I'll admit, 10 days doesn't seem like a whole lot of time to get ready for any month-long trip. But seeing that I had most of my gear together, there came a point where I was just delaying leaving. I had prepared and sent my hiker boxes, made a sign to help get a hitch, and fiddled with almost every piece of gear I had. As inviting as the cabin had been, it was telling me it was time to go. It's getting on close, probably about lunchtime, and I couldn't have picked a hotter week or day or hour to start the Colorado Trail, but we are making it, it's fine. So I'm gonna get up to, like I said, we're in the canyon right now. I've just passed the dam. I'm gonna get up to Lenny's Rest, do some lunch, and then we're gonna camp in Bear Creek tonight, wake up early tomorrow, do it all over again. The 6 miles of exposure in Waterton Canyon eventually gives way to the shade of a forest. There's wildlife to view and uphill walking to be experienced. My plan was to stay at a campsite only a couple miles tucked up into the forest, but after getting there well before dinner, I decided to press on another 8 miles to the South Platte River. Hey, we made it to the South Platte River on day 1. That's actually pretty good. I did not think I'd be here. And I just need to find some water. Here's the bridge. So my game plan, I'm gonna cook dinner here and just kind of look at the weather and maybe just the time. I might walk a little bit further, but let's see. At bare minimum, I'm gonna cook dinner here for the night. If I could give anybody a piece of advice on walking the Colorado Trail, it would be to take a first aid kit and watch out for poison sumac.
Yeah, I bought, I don't know, it's a new little company in California, but what is it, a Featherstone?
Nothing but poison sumac. Check it out, I came prepared. Hydrocortisone cream, Benadryl. Even if you don't have hydrocortisone cream, the best thing you can do is get down to a stream or river and thoroughly wash off the oils with soapy water. This will stop the reaction and allow you to heal up sooner. These are my legs the next day. Check this out, all clear. A little bit of redness right there. So it's day 2 on the Colorado Trail. We're gonna get some water. We got 10 dry miles to the fire station. Trying to chug some. The terrain following the South Platte River is relatively tame. But a fire in 1996 makes this a very hot and very exposed segment.
So I made it to the fire station. I'm gonna have lunch here, get some water. It's gonna be an early lunch. It wasn't that bad of a walk. I drank 2 liters of water this morning, and then I brought 2 liters of water with me in section 2 and just knocked it out early. It wasn't bad at all.
The afternoon rain found us like your little cousin might find you in a game of hide-and-go-seek. But despite the showers, we were able to get a fire going and camp that night. Sitting across from me here is Youngerberry, and to my right is Charcuterie. Like me, these are 2 individuals who were out attempting the Colorado Trail, while the 2 brothers were simply out enjoying a section hike.
Like a gooey center. Oh my
That's actually
You
really
get this in there?
Yeah, there we go. Get that toasty marshmallow. This is literally how cults start. Go out in the woods, they do yoga.
Yeah. God, the angle.
In the following days, we moved closer and closer to Kenosha Pass, the 70-mile mark, and what would be our first stop in the town of Jefferson. Jefferson has a small store, a few amenities, and not much else. But for the through hiker, it's an oasis in the mountains. However, before we can get there, we'd have to get through a couple storms and a couple long days.
The climb in Lost Creek is the first real climb of the trip. Holy cow. It's a lot of uphill. Lost Creek is where it gets real. Well, I have good news. All my poison sumac is gone. My legs are totally clear. I think the Benadryl and the hydrocortisone cream pretty much knocked it all out. So I think I'm hopefully okay for the rest of the trip. I'm gonna make lunch. We do a hot lunch today. I'm gonna do a hot lunch. I'm gonna take a bath and hang out for about an hour and recover. I got 13 miles this afternoon. Every storm leads to something beautiful. And that's this. No clouds, no thunder, no lightning. Pretty much fully dried out.
There's a couple of rules I came to live by on the Colorado Trail to help gauge the sanity of my actions. One of which was if you're setting up your tent in the dark, you've walked too far.
23 miles. I'm probably not gonna do that again for a little bit. Okay, so plan for the day is to get up to Kenosha Pass, and from there, we're gonna hitch down to Jefferson. They have a very, very, very small little market there. We can get some snacks in. Funny story, I actually mailed one of my boxes to the post office in Jefferson, and everybody on the trail is telling me that that post office is closed. So I think I got forwarded somewhere, I don't know. Maybe Fairplay, maybe Frisco. Maybe it just got returned to the return address, I don't know. But I guess I'll maybe try to ask around when I get to Jefferson, and we'll find out. But yeah, if you're planning on doing the CT, I think it's probably wise to not send something to Jefferson. There's not much there anyways. First town stop.
You do, Chap.
You are brilliant. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Where was that?
That's in Aldo's within the announcement of the winners.
Oh.
So
We should, you're right, we should carry that. That'll help us get down to
Yeah.
Durango.
We'll take turns.
Back on trail. I don't know if you can see it down there, but that's the little town of Jefferson's. We're at a burger. That's where we got a ride from Elderberry, Whole Valley.
And Matt, don't forget Matt.
And Matt,
Big ups, Matt.
Big Matt took us down, the ultra marathoner. Best of luck in your ultra marathon, Matt. What was it, 50K? Better you than me, Matt. Best of luck to you, bud.
From Jefferson over to Breckenridge is just a short 30-mile jaunt. At our pace, it'll take 2 nights and hopefully put us in town for a nice breakfast Saturday morning.
So 2 days ago, we did 23 miles, and I said I'd probably never do that again. So today, we're gonna do 23 and a half miles. Fun.
Before we get to Breckenridge, we'll have to go over the Continental Divide. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's the thing that divides where rainwater on this continent goes. Up to this point, all the streams we've been drinking out of will ultimately wind up in the Mississippi and the Gulf of Mexico, whereas once we cross over, all of those streams will flow towards the Pacific Ocean. And if none of that means anything to you, just know we have to walk over something really tall and really exposed to get to where we're trying to go. I'll spare you the details on Breckenridge, but in short, it went something like this. We came, we rode the bus, we ate a bunch of food, and we bought a bunch more. That evening, we stayed at a really neat hostel on the highway called the Bunkhouse. It was one of the coolest places we stayed on the entire trip, and our host Mitch even made us breakfast the next morning. A segment that is often slack-packed is the mountain pass between Breckenridge and Copper Mountain. Slack-packing is when a hiker puts the bulk of their gear at the end of one trail segment, drives back to the other end, and then walks back towards their gear. That's possible here due to the public transportation that runs between Breckenridge and Copper Mountain. Call me a purist, I enjoy keeping my gear with me, but it's definitely an option if you want it. And regardless of whether you want to slack-pack or not, once you're in Copper, you can have lunch before slipping back up into the woods, and tomorrow you'll be treated to the beautiful Kokomo Pass.
So today we're gonna go over Cyril and Kokomo Pass. Let's get it, baby.
Kokomo Pass was really the first time I felt like I was truly submersed in the Rockies. I felt like I was out there. I felt like I had my trail legs under me. I felt like I was meeting people that inspired me. I felt like I had a real chance of getting to Durango. To me, this is where the true beauty of the Colorado Trail started.
So we decided going over 3 major passes in 2 days. Really takes its toll on the body. Going over the pass out of Breckenridge, that goes into Copper, then going over Cyril Pass, and then going over Kokomo Pass. We're absolutely beat and in desperate need of a campsite. Maybe there's a box car we can camp on, or camp in. Be kind of fun, hobo it, like up to wherever.
So worse to get hit by one.
Yeah, this thing looks very abandoned. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they still use it. Yeah, they probably use it. What do I know about railroads? Not much. Let's see. But do a little wilderness first aid here. See that? Nice and raw. Just the way we like our chicken.
Remember earlier in the video where I said if I had to give one piece of advice, it would be to bring a first aid kit and watch out for poison sumac? Well, I'd like to be more specific about the contents of that first aid kit and include some items for foot care. Skip the band-aids, they just come off. Gorilla tape, duct tape, or what's preferred is Lutco tape. Make sure to clean the wound and then apply a piece of gauze to the wound and then cover with the tape. It might be a little uncomfortable, but at least you can walk and you can keep on trucking. Also, it should probably be noted that the shoes I'm wearing are way past their expiration date. These have about 600 miles on them. Most shoes go to 400 miles, but that's a problem I won't be able to solve until I get to Salida. So, until then, I'm just going to be known as the guy on the trail with some blown out shoes.
Can you see me? There we go. It's currently 3:30 in the morning. Let's go do Mount Massive.
So Mount Massive had been a huge win. It was one of the 14ers I had attempted 2 years prior but couldn't make the top. So standing up there today was a pretty sweet victory. But I was sleepy from the early wake-up call and was excited to get into the little town of Twin Lakes where I'd sent a hiker box and I would spend the entire day resupplying and hanging out with other hikers. I would even get reunited with Charcuterie, someone I hadn't seen since Breckenridge, and we would end up walking the rest of the trail together. But before we could get to Durango, we'd have to focus on our next town stop at Monarch and Salida. To get there, we'd have to weather everything the Collegiate West route could throw at us. And I do mean weather.
One of the things I look forward to most every single day is getting rained on, because it is like clockwork every afternoon. So yesterday we essentially did 23 miles from Lake City over Hope Pass, over Lake Ann Pass, and just camped past that. We have Cottonwood Pass coming up, which, you know anything about Cottonwood Pass, it's highly exposed for about 15 miles afterwards. So today we're essentially taking a Nero. It's a very short day. We're going to do 11 miles from just below Lake Ann Pass over to just below Cottonwood Pass. Tomorrow morning we're going to get up super early, put on our headlamps, and we're going to try to do all of Cottonwood Pass before the afternoon when the storms roll in. So that's the game plan. So cool. Right there on the trail.
Oh, the baby.
Oh, there's a baby too. I have never seen a baby moose. That is so cool. I've never seen a mom and a baby.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying about Cottonwood Pass. The plan was to camp below it and then try to go over it the following morning, free from the danger of any lightning strike. But when you get there hours before sunset and you see a gap in the clouds, the temptation to shoot the gap grows like the mountain ridges around you. Now, I don't advise anyone traversing any mountain passes in any type of questionable weather. All I'm saying is in this case, we did it and we got lucky.
The highway, the trailhead, was at mile 33 of Collegiate West. It says 2.5 miles from me.
Really?
Yeah. and it's like, but it's way back there. So
it's just totally.
So it gets the camp messed up, but I think the actual mileage is accurate.
Something you might not know about the Colorado Trail is that it has a fork in it south of the little town we just left. The eastern route is called Collegiate East and is considered the traditional route, lower in elevation and closer to towns. I'm sure you can imagine if there's an eastern route, there's also a western route called Collegiate West. It's a bit more remote and keeps you higher up in elevation. What charcuterie is trying to explain to me here is how our guide system far out is better calibrated towards the eastern route and not so much the western route that we're on. We can still use it, but it's a bit of a guessing game as to distances and how far it is to our next campsite.
Sweet. Charcuterie, you back there? There he is. It's like being in a wind tunnel. Oh my God. Good gosh, man. What is this, Wyoming?
Tomorrow would bring our last day of walking before we got to Monarch Pass, and charcuterie was ready to get there. Because of this, I'd actually lose him in the Monarch ski area. This next clip I debated on not including because, in part, it looks bad on me. I jump to conclusions and I see the worst in the situation. But the clip is raw and it's how I felt in the moment. And I think it's also important for other hikers to see this and see the effects the trail can play on your emotions.
I don't know exactly how to document this. Let me get the lens off here. I try to make everything happy and good and all that stuff. I'm in a situation. Here's what happened. I'm following this guy. I'm following my hiking partner out of the woods. I lose him. He just takes off. And I'm at Monarch. And they're doing construction in Monarch. I lose the trail. I go all the way down to Monarch, all the way down. See it? You see Monarch down there? I go all the way down there. Only to find out that's not the trail. I'm looking around for my buddy. He's not there. I walk back up the trail, back up the road the way I came. I don't find him up there. I'm looking for him. I'm looking for the trail. I'm pulling out my map. I use a paper map. I don't have the GPS thing downloaded, whatever. I spent an extra 3 hours here in Monarch looking for the trail. Worker finally points me in the right direction. Man, I'm feeling a lot of things right now. I don't know. I mostly feel like I got abandoned. And I feel like that's the nature of the trail, isn't it? I don't think he's gonna be down here when I get down here. It's like I got another 1.5 miles to the bottom, but I don't know. Colorado Trail, it's not all flowers and mountain landscapes and streams. I guess I'm just in it, just having a day. I'll cut it off there. I'm gonna go down here. Fingers crossed my hiking partner's there. If not, I guess that means he got a hitch into town because he is nowhere around Monarch. And, you know, it just is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna cut it here. I'll talk to y'all later.
You probably won't recognize it in the moment. I know I certainly couldn't, but I was emotionally fatigued by the trail. Had been for several days. Not only did charcuterie not abandon me, he had actually found us a hostel and arranged for a ride from our hostel host as well, who you can see here ripping it on a surfboard. After 3 restful nights in Salida, the gang was back together. Scraps, Gold, and Crossroads met up with us, and we all set our sights to the San Juans.
So we're out here walking in cow country. Lots of big pastures. Today, my group and I, or the group that I've been walking with, we're gonna do probably 27 miles today to Lujan Creek. Last night we slept, or camped, we dry camped maybe a mile or 2 past Marshall Pass. Something like that. There's a water source just a little ways past Marshall, and we filled up there, then walked for a couple more miles. But today is our first day doing some serious miles. And that's just because the terrain is pretty flat and pretty forgiving for the next couple days until we get on down to the San Juan. So kind of looking forward to that. Really enjoying the break from all those passes we've been going over. Took 2 zeros in Salida. stayed at the Butterfly House, which is mainly the reason why we took 2 zeros, is because it was awesome. And we just pigged out, and my legs finally feel so much better.
Coming out of Salida, we were reunited with Scraps, Crossroads, and Gold, and the 5 of us would end up walking the rest of the trail together. Gold's friend even met us at a highway for a little trail magic. And if you're not familiar with what trail magic is, it's the most beautiful thing a hiker can stumble upon.
Kenosha Pass to...
Okay.
We're gonna like break the circuit, hit the circuit breaker on this thing.
CDT, I think.
Okay.
And most of the others shared sections.
Trail magic is a good way to get some extra calories, and the Lord knows we needed them because we had a 50-mile trek to get down to San Luis Peak and what I would consider the gate of the San Juan Mountains.
So the past 2 days we've done essentially 50 miles, which is just mind-blowing to me, because back where I come from in Tennessee, if you're doing 50 miles up in the Smokies, East Tennessee, North Carolina, something like that, 50 miles is going to take you 5 days. We knocked it out in 2. The terrain essentially is pretty mellow between the collegiates, between Monarch Pass and what is the foothills of the San Juans, where we are now. The terrain between here and back north, lots of puds, pointless up and downs, pretty mellow terrain, very exposed to the sunshine. So you're gonna walk through a lot of prairies, a lot of meadows, very, very little shade and very, very little water. But now that we're here in the San Juans, we get all the water we can possibly want, and we're back to watching out for afternoon thunderstorms going over passes. So plan for today is we're gonna get to the we're gonna go over the pass for San Luis, and if the weather's nice, we'll go ahead and make that summit. If not, we'll just keep going. We'll come back and get the summit another day. So not a big deal, but we got about another 18 to 20 today. Tomorrow we roll into Lake City. Let's do it.
Scared. You might not even be able to tell sometimes.
That's the other thing. To me, I was just like, this just tastes like beef.
But I was like, I want that burger. I don't even eat meat, but I want that burger. And I probably will get it.
I started feeling better after I had those chicken packets.
Yeah.
Like tuna packets, chicken packets. Man, we're about to shoot the gap over this pass. Actually, this really isn't shooting the gap. I really don't think we're in much danger here.
No.
Don't say that now.
I think it's gonna be perfectly fine. Like, I don't think this fully counts as shooting the gap, but we shot something. Man.
As beautiful as the San Juans are, we were ready to get into Lake City. There's a church there that provides a shuttle to and from the trail, and it runs sometime around midday, but you're going to want to check that schedule. Of all the town stops we did, Lake City was one of my favorites. We camped in an RV park, ate really good food, and the church volunteers took extremely good care of it.
What's your name again?
Jason.
Jason?
I know I didn't post on Facebook.
I don't know if
Was that you don't go on Facebook?
Well,
I post once a week. Just.
This is so nice.
This is awesome.
I never want to leave.
I'm trying
I
to
feel like
create.
you have to, if you're part of like, if you're like meeting some sort of.
Go to church. I get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. They're all empty?
Yeah.
Nothing? That's not gonna go anywhere. It's just trash.
Ooh, some Ace.
Ooh,
I might take that.
Yeah, you might need that one.
For my
Toothpaste, need some toothpaste. Hey, maybe I can make that Sawyer squeeze go a little bit longer.
Yeah. Dude, I had
Did not have the time.
The following day, a church volunteer and trail angel carried us back up to the trail. And if you've ever wondered how many people you can fit in a Toyota Tacoma, the answer is at least 9 plus their gear.
Oh, this is perfect.
What?
This picture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just size kind of?
I think it's a size.
We were packed in the back like a bunch of sardines, but having been able to take showers the night before really didn't matter. Silverton was the next town stop, and we were eager to get there.
Charcuterie checking in. Best climber this side of the earth. That's what they said. Not me. They said that. But since they said that, I'll take it. If the trail runner fits, I'll wear it. But keep that in mind. Next time someone else tells you they're the best, remember, charcuterie.
Injury is always something you worry about, and up until this point, no one had gotten injured. But that was all about to change on our second day out from Lake City. Charcuterie had developed a foot injury that would slow him down to almost a crawl at times. At the highest point of the Colorado Trail, which is a little bit more than 13,000 feet, we would reconvene as a group and have lunch for what could be the last time. Scraps, Crossroads, and Gold would hike on while Charcuterie and I would slow down and try to get into a 4x4 road somewhere up the trail. If all went according to plan, we could get him on a quad, get him down to Silverton, I could catch up to the group, and then we could all reconvene at Silverton in a couple days.
Gotta get up to Stony Pass and get Nick on a quad. Get Charcuterie on a quad. Charcuterie board on a quad. Oh my gosh. I would much rather have chicken over tuna. So here's the update. We're at Stony Pass. Nick is trying to get a ride down to Silverton. He talked to one guy in a pickup truck. He was heading in the opposite direction. And he said if he was still here when he came back through, he'd grab him. But we're just gonna eat lunch, hang out. I'm drying some stuff. I'm drying a little bit of gear right now. And I'll just make sure he's up in a quad or up in somebody's truck. And then I'll keep trucking on down the trail, try to catch up with the other group. So that's where we are at this point. Foot injury, by the way. That's what we are working with here. Foot injury happens when you walk, you know, almost 400 miles.
The sentiment and the mood was palatable. I was alone for the first time on the entire trip and felt a sense of guilt for having left Charcuterie behind. But I was confident he was going to get a hitch into town, so I turned my sights onto catching up with the other three. The following day would be the mood booster I needed. I found the group and we enjoyed some trail magic, compliments of another hiker's mom who we affectionately refer to as the Great Granny Waddle. She came in full force with sandwiches, fruit, coffee, beer, candy bar, and tons of other snacks. Oh, and no need to worry about our injured friend either.
Silverton ain't too bad. Got some breakfast this morning, nice little burrito and coffee. And now I'm at the Shangri-La soaking pools.
Silverton proved to be a lively place. We spent the night, resupplied with all the necessities, and the next day caught a very difficult hitch back up to the trailhead. Let me tell you, it's difficult enough getting a hitch for one person. Try getting it for 5 hikers.
This is the tightest we've camped since we've been on trail. You gotta show everybody this one. It's a tight night.
We were getting excited to make Durango, but I was starting to feel a certain way about the trip coming to an end. We made our one and only fire on the trail as a group and did our Rosebud Thorn for the last time. Essentially, Rosebud Thorn was a way for us to share our wins for the day, our pain points for the day, and what we were looking forward to tomorrow. And if that's still confusing, here's Scraps with his rose.
Alright, so my rose. My rose is
Just how like chill today was. I mean, 16-mile day. And like the trees and the coolness and the breeze. It was just like a lovely day of walking. Yeah, and also that lunch spot. That was a good lunch.
Shout out to that lunch spot.
Did you lunch? Where do you lunch?
I don't think I ate lunch.
You didn't eat lunch?
What?
I had that bagel.
Oh man.
I wanted to save. I have a lunch for tomorrow for the long day.
Nice.
But so I just had snacks.
Okay.
Kept it pushing.
If I knew what the perfect thing to say here at the end was, I would. Something profound, or maybe even some heartfelt poetry from somebody who could actually write it. Reality is, you're experiencing something you've likely only experienced a few times before in your life. A sense of new for who you are, a sense of happy for what you've experienced, and a sense of sad for the chapter that's about to come to an end. All the people you meet, all the food you eat, all the storms you weather, they're simply better together.
We're gonna get to that bridge. Hey, hello. Hello.
Thank you so much.
Woo-hoo! We did it!